Also, that dog just like
That Irish wolfhound just like prancing
bumbling
by.
along.
I love that dog. Can we watch it again?
Yeah. Hey YouTube, welcome back to our channel. My name is Elena.
And I'm Bjorn.
And this is Vikings React, where we take a look at some of your favorite Viking shows and discuss their historical accuracies.
So we're going to be watching the trailer for Ragnarok. It's not brand new, but it's something that we've been meaning to do, so we're going to do it now. I don't know anything about it, so it's going to be fun.
Yeah, so I've actually heard some good things about this show.
Cool. Is it a show? It's a show?
It's a show.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's a show.
Now you know one thing about it.
I know one thing about it.
It's a show. Yeah, no, I've definitely, we've had a couple of viewers suggest it
Cool.
for us to watch in general, so we'll have to get to it eventually. And the couple of people that I talked to about it had some good things to say.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Cool.
So let's do that.
Ready? Awesome. Do it.
Ok, først av alt så skal vi si hjertelig velkommen til noen nye klassekamerater. Ja, de jo brødre. Vil dere si litt om det selv, gutter?
Jeg har hoppet over noen klassetrinn, og Agne er god til noen andre ting.
So it's like Viking Scandinavian like high school drama? Is this what their high school dramas are about?
Det føles som at alt har forandret seg etter at det kom til henne. Hun ble usårbar. Hei, det skjedde. Den siste kampen mellom gudene og jentene. Men hvem var jentene?
So first off, I guess, they were talking about like how Ragnarok already happened and stuff like that, which is a thing. And
it supposedly happened in this specific town.
Yeah, in this specific. But yeah, so in the Norse mythology, Ragnarok happens, of course, but then like after it happens, after like the world ends, it's reborn, because Norse mythology is very like cyclical. So like everything's like reborn. Not all the gods come back, but like some of the gods survive, and then there are new gods. So like Thor dies, but then his children survive. And so my thought with this is maybe like they're gonna spin it off as like he's one of Thor's children or something, or like has that capability or something like that.
Could be some kind of a descendant.
Yeah, exactly, some kind of like weird descendant for it.
Vil dere si litt om det selv, gutter?
Look at that guy.
Jeg har hoppet over noen klassetrinn, og Agne
Oh yeah, Magne. Magne's the name of one of Thor's sons.
Oh, I didn't even catch that.
Yeah, I didn't either the first time.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
So, alright, so
I
that
was
makes
right.
sense.
So I was right.
Magna,
Cool.
yep.
Det nye gutten i klassen. Jeg vil at dere skal holde øye med han.
Det der i fjor. Han en utur, han går i trea. Alle som er helt gale etter ham.
Det oss som avgjør liv og død.
Skal dere ha en krig først?
Jentene der fortsatt. De ødelegger verden.
Yeah, so now they're saying that the giants never left, so they're destroying the land, they're destroying the world, and now they have to go and find them and fight them, essentially. Possibly leading to a second Ragnarok, we're not sure, maybe trying to stop it. I know I've heard from a couple of people, they were saying that the underlying point of the show is how far we have moved from, like, nature and how much we ignore it now, essentially. So that'll
I
be
agree.
interesting to see in there.
Yeah, that'll definitely be a good point, because I've been saying that for like a decade. Also kind of interesting, because so in terms of like metaphors and symbolism and things like that, I've always heard of like the giants, the Jotnar, being reminiscent of like the forces of nature, and like their constant battle with like the Astra and the Vanir is like mankind's battle with nature versus like industry, essentially. Because so any kind of like civilization is defined as like industry. You know, it doesn't have to be like modern skyscrapers and stuff. It's just anything that like goes against the natural order of things. So like it's almost a little bit interesting with that in mind to kind of have a thought of like the giants are actually destroying the world and like destroying nature, as opposed to just like symbolizing those natural forces.
I will say that while they say that the giants are destroying the world, they don't specifically say nature. They could be destroying cities.
Yeah, that's true.
And just because they go to the glaciers or into the forest, they could be just looking for them.
Yeah, that's fair. Maybe I was just kind of like extrapolating on that because like as they were saying it, they were showing shots of like the glaciers and like the oil plant and stuff like that. So
that's what they want you to think.
Maybe that was just me.
Vi er enige om at det ikke har vært en som har det på 1000 år.
Hundene spiser sauene.
Ikke som beskytter dem.
Du skal ikke undervurdere. Hva mener du?
When he was arm wrestling the lady and she was like giving him the challenge, that was also reminiscent of the story of Utgard Loki. So Loki and Thor are traveling, and they also have, because of a prior story, a slave. So the three of them go to Utgard Keep, and they meet Utgard Loki, who's like the chieftain there basically, who like welcomes them in and like gives them a feast and things like that. But then they have like a bunch of competitions to see like how great the gods are basically. But like there's a lot of things. So like Thor has to wrestle an old lady. And he fails, like she beats him because it's age. He's wrestling against like age, he's wrestling against old age, and even the gods can't beat old age because the gods are mortal and things like that. And then like Loki has like an eating competition against some other person, and he loses. But it turns out that that other being that he was eating against was fire, and nothing is more like all-consuming than fire. So like even though Loki ate like all the food and everything like that, the other competitor not only did it quicker, but they also ate like the bones and the plates and like everything.
And the table, I think.
Yeah, and like parts and like all kinds of crazy. And it turns out it was fire because fire is all consuming and like destroys and eats everything. And then like the kid who's supposed to be wicked fast had a race against somebody else, and it turned out like they had like 3 bouts, and each time the guy lost even like by more and more and more. And it turns out he was racing against time itself. There's also like a drinking competition where Thor had to like drain a horn, and it was filled with the ocean, and you only wrote it down that much, but like comparatively that's a ton because it was the ocean. So then Thor had to lift a cat, and he could only lift like a paw up, but then it turned out that the cat was Jormungandr. So it was like all this kind of stuff goes into it, and we can extrapolate on that like a ton. But it was a really cool tale, and it just showed that like even though they didn't necessarily win under those circumstances, they still did like amazing feats. Because they were set to lose, essentially. Like, nobody could win. But anyways, kind of like the duel of that. Like, it kind of seems similar to something like that kind of story, like that parallel, where he's, like, up against some extreme force of nature that he can't beat, like, he can't win against.
Right.
So it just is reminiscent of that. If he's, like, obviously Thor-ish powers because of the lightning and the storm and the strength and everything like that. That's what I'm assuming. Yeah, but then, like, something else is stronger than him, like, can't recall what it would be, or I don't know what they're going to go with, but it just kind of like is reminiscent of that story in the mythology, which is really cool. I really like that approach.
Yeah, absolutely. And if he is, some kind of a descendant of Thor, has his power in some way, then, we can extrapolate that other characters are also going to have some power, so she could be another character with the power of a different god.
Exactly, or just like, giants and things like that as well. Because that was clearly the whole dichotomy there.
Heltens reise har begynt.
Scandinavian high school dramas are way more interesting than ours.
I approve.
Good job.
Good job, guys.
Good job, Scandinavia. Good job, Norway. I'm excited for it. It's going to be a cool series.
That's going to be really
Is it out yet?
It is out.
Oh.
Well... I wanted to start it when it first came out, but we were still doing Vikings, and now things are piling up.
Oh, God.
We have a lot of stuff to do, folks. We have a lot of stuff to watch.
We have a lot.
And it all looks really cool, honestly.
This is going to be a cool series.
Yeah. I'm really excited about it.
For once in my life, I'm looking forward to watching a high school drama.
I've unfortunately not been doing Duolingo for a while.
Same.
Maybe this will change that.
Yep.
Thank you so much for watching, guys. We hope you enjoyed it. If you did, hit that like button. If you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. and hit the bell so you can be notified of our future videos, and we'll see you in the next one.